Who's here on Jerry Castillo? Hello. Hello. So you have a violation report.
Yes, Your Honor, but I believe it was his understanding that the protective order that we're talking about that expired on the 17th of November. And I don't know if the offense was on the 17th day of November, but it's very close. He believed that it had been expired. And the reasons for the protective order, there's been no assaults or threats that he's been criminally charged with respect to the complaining witness. So there's just a protective order out there that he's violated, and I believe he violated it on the expiration date. He was trying to see his kids. And so he knows now that he needs to have his mom or somebody make those arrangements.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do.
Okay.
He's gonna sit over in the box, states you need to contact the complainant, see if the complainant is available by Zoom, so we can figure out what's going on here.
All right, Judge, and I want to ask you, may I be excused just to make announcements?
Yes,
In County Code 11 and 5?
yes,
I'll be back.
yes, okay,
All right,
yes, Deputy Laura, he needs to go in the box.
I will. Maybe you're not.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
So what is the clarification?
Judge, I believe that he was confused, or he was saying he was confused about the protective order. And what it actually is there was a violation of the protective order back in January or February. And when he got released on that case, he had a no contact order as a condition of bond. So the protective order did expire, but it was a repeat violation of the bond condition that he then violated in November.
I believe that's correct. I think that he thought that protective order expired so that he could go pick up his kids and make arrangements. But he knows he can't do that now, Judge, and he doesn't want to violate the bond. He just wanted to see his children, and he'll get his mom to arrange the patients.
Are you in contact with the complainant on this? Have you been in contact with her?
No, ma'am.
Do you have her number?
No, ma'am.
Then so you just showing up at her house for a visitation?
I haven't seen.
No. I'm talking about this violation that occurred, this violation report.
Yes, ma'am.
So your attorney is telling me that you went over there to see your children.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you have her number.
Yeah.
I did not go to her place of residence. And that's the report.
We have been in touch previously with the complainant, and it is phone calls, just excessive numbers of.
I've never gone to her place of residence.
All right, so you have her phone number. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, yes, I do.
All right. So do you have the phone number that he has, State?
I can cross check that.
All right.
Sorry, I'm
All
sorry,
right,
Judge.
give your attorney the phone number so we can see if we can get in touch with the complainant.
Can I just talk to you, Judge?
Sure. All right, and state in defense, just so you know, what I'm thinking about doing is doing a GPS. So, but I just want her to be aware so I can figure out what's going on here.
And Judge, we do believe they're the same phone numbers. You don't have his phone on him, so he's not sure. The last number is different,
Okay.
but it's the same number.
Okay.
And he doesn't have he needs his cell phone to see them.
Okay. All right, so State, what do you want to do with this violation?
Judge, we would ask for that GPS.
I'm on GPS already.
Yeah, he's on one. He doesn't go over there.
That's why I'm
That's a
not
problem.
allowed to go.
Here's the thing. I don't know what you fail to understand. And I understand maybe there's some confusion. Maybe people think, oh, there's no longer a protective order, therefore I can call. But even if there's no protective order, you can call. Nobody wants you to call them 10, 12 times. Guess what my motto is? My motto is if you call once, okay. Twice, okay. And there's no response. The third time you begging. Stop begging And I can tell you right now, in this court, as far as you should be concerned, even if she wants to be with you, I'm not allowing it. So you are not to call her. You are not to contact her. You are not to go to her house. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes when conditions are done, sometimes it's punishment, right? Sometimes it's rehabilitation, but I see I'm gonna have to punish you a little bit. So what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna be on full house arrest. Yeah, he's gonna have to let them know. You're gonna be on full house arrest for a month. So if you end up losing your job, that's all on you because you were not supposed to have contact with her. You were not supposed to be calling her. And it's clear in the court's orders that you are not supposed to be calling her. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But his mom arranged the visitation, right?
Yeah, his mom can arrange visitation, but he's not allowed
Now,
to.
he didn't understand the difference between the bond and the protective order, Judge. That's really,
Okay.
he didn't want to violate it.
Okay, all right. Do you understand now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're gonna do full house arrest for 1 month. If there are any violations on that house arrest, what's gonna end up happening is we're not gonna have this conversation anymore. A warrant will be issued and we can address that from the Bear County Jail. Do you understand?
Of course. Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
I'm already used to it.
All right, is there anything else? And I'm sorry, have you conferred with the state on the underlying case?
See, that's it, Judge. There's no assault and there's no terroristic threat. There's no underlying case.
No, I mean, what he's charged with. The repeated bond of a protective order. I mean, the repeated violation of a court
I don't
order.
know, Judge. He has no fines with respect to this, offenses with respect to this defendant.
No, I mean, he's here for,
A repeated violation of protective order.
yes.
Okay, let me find out. Have you been charged with this?
This is my first one.
You want to confer with state? Do you have the file
They don't have the file.
on Jerry Castillo? Can you have that file brought down?
Before it, we believe it was recently indicted and we haven't been able to track down that physical file.
Okay, all right, Ms. Ferguson, on Jerry Castillo, I need a court date and let's just set this court date 1 month from now. And then
It's on
we'll
the
see.
16th, the court date.
Hmm?
The court date's on January 16th.
December.
What? Oh,
It's
December
This
16th.
month, yes.
Oh, it's December 16th?
Yes.
All right, let's set it from a month from now, so we'll remove that date. What date, Ms. Ferguson? All right, so we're gonna come back on January 19th. If all is well, I'll take you off the full house arrest, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, don't call her anymore.
Will that, when I get removed from that house arrest, will I also be removed from this violation?
We do everything in steps. Let's cross one visit. First thing we're gonna do is the full GPS.
Okay.
So if they're in violations, you're gonna still be on full arrest. You understand?
Mhm.
All right.
Now, will I keep the same pretrial officer? as
Yes.
this? Okay,
And I think you could come to my office too if you have to.
okay,
Is that correct, Judge?
I'm sorry, what?
If he needs to come to my office for any reason?
Yes.
okay.
All you have to do is call them and let them know you're going to your attorney's office.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you. Just, you gotta sign this.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 10840, State of Texas versus Jerry Castillo. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
for the defense?
Gail Counter over here for Gary Castillo.
And are you Mr. Castillo? All right, Mr. Castillo, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, John.
Did you understand what you're being charged with is repeated violation of court order or bond conditions, family violence? That is a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state recommends deferred adjudication. They will take into consideration JN 2101126, 2101087, and 2098931. And there's to be no contact with. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
I already have a
There's a
protective
protective
order.
order
and
with the law. It's no contact with the law.
Okay.
All right, do you understand the plea?
I
To
do,
be the plea?
Your Honor. It's no contact order.
All right, Mr. Castillo, is that the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
State, is that the
Yes.
plea? Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be 200 hours community service restitution, 1 year GPS for work purposes only, and for child care and visitation, parenting classes, compliance with child support orders, and the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah.
It's gonna be a year.
No, I mean, that, it's like day-to-day, the day-to-day time. That will be through the other,
I don't know.
It's outside. the agreement.
so. we're gonna- the
He's
day-to-day
trying to.
No
have a
problem.
GPS now.
hours, I think determined to the courts.
It's
Or
gonna
do
be,
probation.
it's gonna be subject to the court's order, and we're asking that it be basically to the house except for work and for.
So I just submit my hours.
You'll be able to information.
Okay, okay.
All right. Into the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
And we have to see if it's number one and all.
No objection.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, just that he works full-time, and there's a lot of community service hours there, and he does work full-time. He works 12 hours a day, depending on his shift. And he likes to visit with his children when he's entitled, and there is a court order in place. And we just would request that the court give him a chance on deferred adjudication.
All right, so Mr. Castillo, do you understand that she doesn't want you anymore?
Sorry,
Do you understand that she does not want you anymore?
who are you speaking of?
I'm speaking of,
I'm very well aware of that.
well, here's the
We
thing.
have we went to family court. This is
But here's the problem. What I'm reading, you don't seem to understand that. That's why the state wants GPS. Because you're showing up at her apartment, according to this, asking her where she's going, which is none of your business. And then you're showing up at her place of employment. No, I mean, this is serious.
Yes, ma'am, I understand, but I'm past that point in my life. I'm ready for new beginnings. I just got my children back from family court. I had to hire lawyers for that too. So I'm very past the point of what you're trying to tell me.
Well, I want-
Very aware. Yes.
Well, I want you to be very aware of that.
Very aware, ma'am.
And
I'm taking it very seriously.
if you are in any other relationships, when somebody ends it or doesn't want you anymore, you got to let it go.
Yes, ma'am.
So are these children you have with her?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are their ages?
7 and 3.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is trying to do. 5 years deferred adjudication. take in consideration JN 2101126, 2101087, 2098931. There's to be no contact and if there are custody, visitation, and child arrangements, you need to do that through a third party, you understand?
Have that already, in place.
Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. 200 hours of community service restitution, parenting classes with P. Once you complete the parenting classes, the remaining of the community service hours will be waived. There is to be compliance with child support orders. And I'll put this in here, but the conditions of probation always have in there that you are responsible for taking care of your dependents. And so in this case, it's your 2 children. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs, field visits, 1 time per month. And GPS tracking. If tracking will show if he's around her, then we're gonna have some issues. The BIPP course, why were you recommending the BIPP course?
Just with the history, there was no family violence alleged, Your Honor, but it was a very, I would argue, emotionally abusive, intrusive relationships. I think he could benefit from learning how to cope with those situations.
All right, we'll do anger management.
And there's no substance abuse either in the record.
All right, he has to do UAs. And there's anger management. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court? Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does this plea bargain agreement? Because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 10 years? You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And we'd be excused.
He needs to go over conditions with probation. Probation,
Yes, Your Honor.
can you make sure that that's an intensive anger management course?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I sense anger issues. All right,